Hey, I'm here with FalleN right after winning the first ever $1 million major at MLG. It's a lot of money.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about
That's
it. It's not
important.
about that,
Yeah,
right?
that's important. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Does it feel like winning 5 majors worth of prize money?
Yeah, I think winning this one made off from the other ones that are lost in the finals. I think it's a big prize pool, and it's like winning 10 normal tournaments. So we're pretty happy, but not about the money itself. Winning a major is so much proud on doing that and achieving the top of the world.
When Liquid played yesterday, or when they played versus CLG, they had like a really rough start. And then I talked to Hiko, and he said that they were able to come back because they never believed they were going to lose. When you played, your match earlier, did you have that same kind of confidence? Is that what helped you perform that comeback?
Yes. When we were playing Liquid, I think we never thought of losing as well. Actually, on the second map, I didn't expect us to come back again because we just did it on Mirage. But when the rounds kept coming, like 16, 6, 7, 8, 9, I said, okay, they might accept another comeback. But yes, this is very, very important. That's something our team is getting better and better. It's like being resilient, not fighting between games, and keeping ourselves cool and keeping calm. This is what was missing for us to win titles, and I think we finally achieved that. I hope on the next tournaments my teammate's going to be on the same way, so we can still get more results.
So now your adjustments on CT side on Cash, you ended up being solo B quite often when they would split on you. And I remember one round you smoked off of Checker and then you mollied B main and it was like delayed long enough. Were you not expecting them to split B on you, or what do you think they did wrong?
I think they didn't do anything wrong. I think maybe sometimes their players try to resolve the game for themselves. Like there was a round, as I think Simple,
Jumping
they
off?
got mid control, and then he was trying to pick highway, and then he saw tackle I think on the side, and then he decided for himself to go and get kills on A. And I remember Code Zero saying, "Guys, we're not losing this. They start trying to win for themselves already, so let's go." I remember Code saying that. So maybe I could say that they made some mistakes like this, but this is normal. Like you are 15 something, you see some opportunity and then you try it. But it's not only about Liquid not finishing, but all about us overperforming after 15 rounds. I think we had 23 victories, 23 rounds won against 1 lose, 115. So it's insane.
Now, your adjustments, again, really, really good. And it was hard to tell, even as an analyst watching the game, what they could have done better. Do you think like having the op at B on Mirage was really important for you guys to perform that comeback, to have enough money in first place?
Yeah, I saw Liquid was exploiting with some B strats, like big explosions. And same strats we kind of use sometimes. And it's not something that caught us off guard. But we're not expecting them to do that. And I think this kept Taco a little off guard in the beginning, and Taco was complaining a little about his in-game sound because when he felt back to the side, he couldn't hear too much about how people were positioning on side, so he could get some kills. And I remember this made Taco shakes a little because of that. But the Code Zero round was the most important thing on Mirage. It was a very lucky shot, and it turned it over, got ourselves confident again, and like I told you, round after round, we're like, okay, we can do it, and let's keep playing.
Now, just keeping on Mirage, as you played Navi on it, you guys have this cat B split where you throw a smoke on cat in front of connector. Is that something you borrowed from Navi?
This is something we get from an IP actually, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said on other interviews, we are very good on watching other things and getting what they have from good. So we took their best starts, we took their best ideas, and we tried to bring it to our game. So every time, like I told you, and I keep saying that every time we lose, every time something goes bad for us, we try to understand what went wrong and what they did good, because it's not only about you playing bad, the other team is good as well. So this is kind of a strat that we take from other teams.
Would you say that you agree that, I mean, from my perspective, it seems like Navi is the most similar to you guys in terms of how you play, very like map control centric? Yeah, you'd agree. So do you think you borrow from each other a lot, or that you spend a lot of time watching Navi play?
Navi has, I agree with you, it's kind of the same. And I saw Navi this tournament trying something different that they were trying in other tournaments. If you watch their game against VP on Cobblestone and some other games, you're going to see them doing some envious style strats on the beginning of the games. And this is something we were ready on this game. Like when we went to City side against Navi, we're like, guys, they might not be the same Navi we have been playing based on what I have been watching the other games. So be careful for fast push. And we did a perfect read when they tried to do apartments push from nowhere. We had Fur on the balcony, and he got 2 or 3 kills, if I'm not wrong. We knew they would do that.
That actually leads me to another question. So, Navi might have tried to speed it up so that people don't think that they're playing the same Navi they play every time.
Exactly,
Hold
it's
their
smart from them,
grenades,
yeah.
right? And so if you can't delay your grenades, then maybe in the later rounds they play slow. People use their grenades early. So do you how do you stay structured, right? How do you play structured, but then not allow yourself to be telegraphed? Like let your opponents be obvious or make it obvious what you're trying to do.
You mean a CT or T?
If on T side?
On T side.
Yeah.
Yeah, on T side, you kind of need to have strategies that appears to be one and is another. I think this is what we have been doing this a lot on Mirage. It's not always. We didn't work like this on Mirage from the past. But like I said on other interview, Code Zero was the guy calling on the overtime on T. And all he did is that he tried to fake them to think it was something we used during the game, but it was another completely different. And what was important is that because of he was calling, I was more focusing on my gaming, and I got the intro kill in 3 rounds. I went B, I got CZ, it'll pin. I went A, I got Flamey on CT spawn and looking for A ramp. So I mean, it was good. It's good to not be the calling sometimes, so you can focus more on killing. And I was glad Code Zero stepped it up and felt he knew more than me on this moment, and I believe in him, and that paid off.
Is that an especially hard challenge because you have to play so many team rounds and then you have to play OT as well, and you're only preparing in your head for regulation time maybe, so to come up with new strategies constantly?
Well, being honest, if you think on Counter-Strike beta game right now, you don't prepare yourself for the T side entirely. I mean, you need to have some strategies that you might understand during the game that you're gonna work. I don't think my gameplay was very good on this game map. That's why I think we didn't make too many rounds. But it's especially because they're very good on city side as well. Like it was very difficult to break their defense. But I think on Counter-Strike right now it's more based on the mid round calls, So defaults are very important, holds are very important, and some explosions to sum it up and surprise your opponent is very important as well.
Yeah, I remember one round where you had a split, you had 2 A ramp, and then 2 in connector, fur in connector, and you were on cat with an op, and then you pushed all the way into B, I think, to make it seem like you're going B, and then had the
This
split.
was against Liquid.
Yeah.
It worked. I went first to ladder room, I killed a leash close to jungle, and then I say yes, when they see me B, you guys explode because they're going to be moving. I think it worked.
On the mini-map, it looks 100% you can't lose, so yeah.
Yeah, the idea was exactly that. We did this on cash as well against VP, if I'm not wrong. No, I think it was online match. But I think it was a call like this. We had like 4 guys with mid control, and only Taco had a smoke. And I sent Taco to checker so he could smoke B and made the guys move. I think it was this tournament. And then we go in a highway, and then A guy was lost. Actually, it was against Taz. Taz was on the side. We didn't make any sound, so the city guy on B would probably say, "Oh, there's smoke here, smoke city is going." So the A guy doesn't know what's happening, and I actually was surprised because Taz was like not moving. He was like, it could be happening. He understood what was happening.
He's old, man.
Yeah, he experienced it, and then we killed him. He was on side, and I was like, "Oh, that was close." I expect him to move, I expect him to do some mistakes, but this shows how VP is good. Those kind of tricks would work against 90% of the teams.
And so I guess it leads me into another topic here. Is you're playing a team and your strategy doesn't actually work 100% how you want it. But this game has a lot to do with aim as well.
Yeah.
And you've played with an alarming amount of talent on your team.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have made roster changes as well. But can you take any credit for the development of your players since you picked them up to where they are at now?
Yeah, some people say that I am one of the best game leaders in the world right now, and I agree because we are one of the best teams, so you need to be. But what I think I step most is making us understand where we can get better. This is something I have been doing not now, like since we started. So I think every player that joins our team is learning more and more. I'm learning as well with them, and they're learning with me, and we're learning with the losing experience we have. So this is where I excel most, I guess. Every time we lose, every time we made something different, we try to approach it on a better way. And I'm like, overpass game is something that we lost for Selfless online on a difficult match. And this loss showed us, guys, it's time to change what we're doing because it's not working anymore. In the past was working. We beat Astralis and with a convincingly fashion 8-7 on this side with the same strats. And then we figured out, okay, guys, it's not working anymore. We're doing something wrong. So what do you think about that? What do you think about this? So we start talking about what could be doing different. And our overpass is very strong right now. Even if we didn't have a pretty good city side on Navi against Navi this time, I think we will win state.
Yeah. Now, what's the process like when you're picking teammates? Because everybody in Brazil wants to be on your team, right? And you are running basically this first and second best teams. All your teammates are, I'm sure, extremely grateful for the opportunity to play with you. And so, how do you make that very difficult decision to actually?
Yeah, this might come as a shock, but I never chose any player. It's not me choosing.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's always the other teammates speaking.
Okay.
So I have been playing with Fur for a long time, since Kaboom.
Yeah.
And first time we decided to change, it was Fur who didn't want to play with the same teammates we were playing. I mean, it's hard to me to take a step and say, I don't want to play with the guy anymore, because I like them too much when they're on my team, and I'm kind of a motive guy, and I don't like removing players. But I understand that if we reach our cap, it's something we need to do. But most times it doesn't come from me. Like Code Zero picks wasn't me choosing. It was actually Boats and Fur. They chose Code Zero. I mean, we had to remove ZKK because of other problems we have on the team. Like it wasn't flowing how we expected. So I agree with the change, but I didn't choose the player. So it might be disappointing, but it's not me like, oh, this guy can be a brilliant mind. No, it's not me. I just treat them as I want to get their best from every player just join my team. And the recent additions were Taco and FNX. And I think it was Fur and Code who decided to get in as well. I was just the guy, if it has to be done, let's go, yeah.
Have you ever said no?
For someone? No, I don't think. I never said no. Because it's, when you think about changing lineup, there's always someone who is the guy who thinks, and you can see it's the guy for the work, you know?
Right.
So it's not like this, oh, there's a list, pick someone, this, no. We always know who we want based on what we're seeing. So it's very, very natural.
So what kind of preparation does it take to prepare in your week to week? You have so many matches to play versus preparing for the major specifically. Do you need to do anything extra for the major? Do you think it's important? Like, for example, I saw a boost that I think Cole did in front of undercap
Mirage.
from underpass.
Yeah, I created this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do you think those are so important when you play a team like so often, to just have that one thing to get you
Yeah, this was a crazy idea I had during a game. And I was thinking it became a meta game to smoke top mid and go behind the box as T. And I was like, everything is doing that and everything is living safe because this is so good. Like there's not too much you can do against that. And I was like, this boost, I saw someone doing like old age ago, maybe on Counter-Strike 1.6. Yeah. And I just had an idea, oh, this might work against this meta now. So we tried 1 or 2 times on practice and we said, okay, this is good, don't use anymore. And I think we use against NIP. Yeah. But it's like we didn't use again. It's very specific things. Yep. You need to be feeling that it's going to work. Against NIP to work, we got free back off guard and we won a round. So this kind of things is good. It shows how you are always looking for something else more. And this is very important if you want to be better than the other teams. How
do you think about the round timer? So like you have the, all the time to play with on T side, and sometimes you want to just do something fast so that a team doesn't expect it. But do you think it's mostly best to win the round, playing the round out as long as possible?
No. I think this change made CS more beautiful on my eyes, because in the past there were maps where you could stop people playing on a region just smoking the entire map, like Banana or Inferno. People would smoke it 4 or 5 times, or 3 or 4, depending on how it goes. And then you're going to win the round, because they would have like 20 seconds left if they wait for the smokes. And then it's easier for the CTs. Right now, if they do that, they still have 35 seconds and it's still enough to do a fake or something. So it's not easy for anyone anymore. I mean, with all the play styles we're looking in the game right now, it can go wrong very fast. Like that's why I think Navi got surprised a lot of teams in this tournament. They came to play with Navi and they think, oh, this is going to be a ultra slow game. They're going to get every information they can. And suddenly against VP, they're just exploding B from nowhere. Right. So I think it's beauty.
Nice. After a big tournament like this, I mean, it's got to be a lot of relief, right? All the preparation, all the anxiety, the build-up. Yeah. So what do? Take a couple weeks off?
No way. We're going to boot camp.
Really?
Yes, we're going to Sweden 2 days. We start our boot camp tomorrow.
Wow. Do you think that's like good to just keep playing through?
Yes, I think it's definitely important. We're excited to achieve even more. We're just starting, and win this tournament doesn't mean we're going to win the next one, and that's something we need to have in mind. So we still need to be focusing and getting better and better, and playing to get skill-wise speaking, individually speaking, better.
You seem like just a hyper motivated person. Obviously it's been a steady incline for you guys, getting closer and closer, and then finally taking it at your first big opportunity. Have you ever experienced like a lack of motivation? You've been playing for a long time.
Well, the only thing that makes me lose motivation is if someone who is playing with me doesn't want to commit on the same level we're trying, or we need to commit. So if I have teammates that are not willing to put the same effort that I know it's necessary, then I feel bad and I feel, okay, this is not going to work. That doesn't happen often. It happens sometime in our history, but that's the only thing that makes me lose motivation, because I feel like we're not doing our best. I'm always fine with losing if I did my best. That's how I think, and that's how I kind of work with this game. Like, if we lose because they were better, or because some details didn't went our way, like we're not lucky or something, it's fine. Like when we lost for Navi on Face It Finals, I guess it was 15-14 for us. We could have closed those both matches. But it just wasn't to happen, you know. It wasn't supposed to happen because it was 15-14. I think we had too nervous to finish the match. I passed a call, I gave a strat, if I'm not wrong, on train. Some of our players didn't want to do the strat. I mean, they added some other ideas. Okay, if you're going to do that, I'm going to do this. So, I mean, they changed it just because they were too nervous. And this is something we learned from it, you know. After this match, I said, guys, we could have won this. Maybe if we just did what we tried, or maybe if we went more slower, we would have won that. And they, I think you are right. So we give a step away further, you know.
I guess a couple, well, maybe just one last question. Do you have any, are there any like common misconceptions about what a caster or an analyst or like the public think that you can think of that people think is the true but really isn't?
I think people think a lot. If you read the general comments, the mass comments, they don't know anything about this game. The first fact is they look to the stats. Like they look for tackle stats, let's say. Stats can tell you how impactful their game was. Like if the guy only kills 3 guys, but he won 3-on-3, 3 times 1-on-1, and broke their economy 3 times, he won the game with 3 frags. So people that are looking for stats too much are the most disappointing people ever, because they don't know anything about the game. And the analyst itself and the other guys, I think they have a good concept about the game. My favorite analyst is Janko. I think he looks to the game with the same aspect I look. So when he's saying, this guy is smart, I mean, I can feel myself thinking the same thing. So I think he's a very smart analyst. But I think generally speaking, all of them are very good and they understand what they're saying.
Nice. What do you think is next for the meta in Counter-Strike in terms of how teams play? It seems like when you and Navi play, it appears you play perfectly because you're so evenly matched. But is that the case? Do you think that there are holes in your game that you know about that nobody else does, or that you feel like is going to change with the way
I really can't predict how it's going to change. And I think neither Fnatic can predict it.
What do you think happened to Fnatic, by the way?
I don't know, really. I think Olaf injury made them not practice too much. They couldn't practice the amount of hours maybe they should, or maybe they wanted, I don't know. And I think a little of overconfidence. I didn't agree with the veto system they use against Astralis. I mean, they played cash, which they have lost picking on the tournament ago, and they went T-side on overpass. Even if Fnatic is super good T-side on every map, CT has advantage, and they know that. And they know that because they won a tournament against us in the same tournament they lost against Astralis, losing very badly on T-side. So they played again on T-side, which was scary for them against us, but they could come back. And they tried T again. So I think they were not so smart on that veto process, and I think they were not performing at the top level on this tournament, at least on this match. I mean, Fnatic players are based, their game is entirely based on their veto skills and their mid-round calls. And it just wasn't their day, you know. It wasn't hitting their shots and taking smart decisions.
Awesome. Well, congrats on your win, man. I appreciate the insight. I think a lot of people appreciate it too.
Yeah, thank you.
And
appreciate it.
Good luck in the
Bye-bye.
future.